Therapy Biz Blitz. Stories, tips, and insights to improve your private practice game in about 10 minutes. So as I go about my day, I record thoughts that are going through my brain because I'm a thought-a-minute guy. Now, these thoughts I want to share with you because I think they're going to make you better at life and at your private practice. But now first, here's what I want you to do. I want you to follow me on Instagram and the Facebook page. Both of those are Start a Therapy Practice. Go to the website, startatherapypractice.com, because I have some free tools over there. I have some actionable articles and videos. Also have an ebook on how to start a therapy practice, and the Academy of Private Practice is my flagship product service to help you start and grow a private practice. All right. So startatherapypractice.com. And if you have any questions, email me, scott@startatherapypractice.com. All right, let's jump into it because we're supposed to keep it to 10 minutes, right? I want to talk about setting your intent. When you wake up in the morning, you need to set your intention for the day. You need to focus on 2 to 3 priorities that you're going to focus on. These don't have to be about work. One of them should be about family or friends, how you're going to treat them, how you're going to interact with them. Then a couple of those should be about work. What are you going to accomplish today? What are you going to focus on? Write those down. That's important. Set your intent before you do something big, something important, something meaningful. How is this going to feel? How do you want it to feel? Set your intent. Too often we're just going through the day reacting instead of planning. You control how you feel. You control more situations than you think you do. And you do that by setting your intent. All right, what's the one thing that's holding you back from succeeding right now? Whether it's in private practice, your personal life, or anything else. You know, with a little bit of thought, a little reflection, what the one thing is that's holding you back. It's probably a big thing. That's why you've repressed it. Think about it. Write it down. Let's break it down. What's going to get us there? We're going to make tiny steps on this. We're developing the habit of addressing this one thing that's holding us back. That's the important thing, to take that first step. What's holding you back? Then break it down. What's the first step? Do that today. Make that a very small step. A very little step to get you going in the right direction to accomplish, to address this one thing that's holding you back. Have you ever been in the situation where someone asks, hey, what do you do? Or just the subject comes up about your line of work? Of course you have. It's come up before. So we're therapists. So how do you explain what you do? As some people call it an elevator pitch. What you should do is to not use therapy jargon. You should start honing your message in layman's terms. How can you explain what you do and help that person understand what you do? So you just basically you want to come up with a simple statement about what you do. Now you have to realize that some people are just being nice, trying to make conversation. They don't really care what you do. I mean, they might be casually interested and curious, but they're trying to be nice. So you need to keep your initial statement very short. And your goal for this practice is to generate questions from whoever's asking or whoever you're telling, this is what I do. So first thing, you want to define what clients that you help. What type of people do you help? And then how those clients, how your ideal client benefits from your therapy. So focus on the benefits, not the features. So for example, I could say parents bring their child to me because they're concerned that their little cherub is not up to speed with their peers. They've noticed that, they really have a difficult time performing this task or these tasks compared to my cousin's kids or my sister's kids. And as a therapist, I put them through some very specific tests, standardized tests, to see if they are truly delayed in that area. If they are delayed in that area, then we give some intervention. We help them out to get them up to speed so they're ready for the future, so they're ready for whatever tasks come their way. Now, how can you make that statement, that explanation, a little more intriguing to basically get a question from the person that you're talking to? So you could use some colorful language, sort of like, once we see a child for therapy, we put them through some superhuman activities to help them get them up to speed. And so the person listening go, superhuman? What activities are you talking about that? Then you're having a conversation. That person has engaged with you as far as what you provide and what you do. Use some colorful language like that, some language that is going to induce a question, some feedback from the person that you're talking to. I think it would be good to write this down as far as your elevator pitch. Pretend that somebody asks you, hey, well, so what do you do? Where do you work? And then begin to write down that explanation and give it some thought. And what you could do is take your idea of what you do, write it out as long as you want, and then start paring it down, start cropping it down. First thing you can do is strip out all the adjectives. These are the colorful words that describe nouns. So strip those out, and then you're kind of left with your core message, and then only add in the adjectives that are truly helpful, that explain what you do. Try to get that message as short as possible. Like I said, people are asking you the question what you do because they might be interested, but not for very long. So keep it very short and use some super words. Use some very colorful language that is going to make them curious and go, what does he mean by that? Like I said, superhuman activities. What are you talking about? What are you doing that's superhuman? And then the conversation is off and running. That person is engaged, and you're explaining how what you provide in therapy is great and possibly is going to help them or somebody that they know. Now, did you know that every decision that we make is made at least twice? So the decision is first made in our mind, hypothetically, before we even make the decision literally. So really, a decision, in order for a decision to come true, you must have at least first imagine yourself doing it. So you've probably said this before, I just could not imagine myself doing that. And then you didn't do it because you could not imagine yourself doing it. You must imagine yourself doing that thing before you even really decide to do that thing. So in your marketing, you can use this tool. You can help paint the picture and tell the story for your potential clients. You can say, just imagine what it's going to feel like in 3 months after we do this therapy. I'm going to help you go from here where you're at now to there where you want to be. And just imagine how that's going to feel. You can use that tactic both on your website, in any written information that you have about your therapy practice, in conversations that you have with potential clients. Use that just imagine scenario or storytelling idea with your potential clients. I do have a blog post about this very subject, and it's titled Just Imagine. So it's a little more information about this topic to help you get more people to choose you for therapy. I'm reading the book, The Obstacle is the Way by Ryan Holiday. It's a great book. It's a great mindset book. But it seems that ideas or lessons come to me in themes, and I think it does to you also if you recognize that. So in reading The Divine Office, which I try to read every day, it's a list of excerpts from scripture, from other past figures in history, who the fathers of the church, and different people like that. So the lesson that I'm reading today is from Paul's letter to the Corinthians. And in that, Paul mentions that so that he does not become conceited, Christ gives him what Paul says a thorn in his side. And Paul asks Christ to take this thorn from him. He doesn't explain what the thorn is, but obviously it's something that's probably physically uncomfortable and maybe even a little demeaning. So he asks Christ to take this from him, and Christ tells Paul, this is what Paul says, that my grace is enough for you, for in weakness, power reaches perfection. Now, that correlates with the idea from the book, The Obstacle is the Way. The lesson being that the difficulties that we go through are the opportunities themselves. So to have that mindset of embracing the obstacles, the difficulties, the setbacks, and realizing that there's opportunity within those setbacks and difficulties, and that there's lessons that we're being taught through those difficulties and setbacks. That is the point. The obstacle is the way. And that's what Christ is trying to teach Paul here. His destination is not his destination. His destination is the journey. The journey is the destination. So embrace the difficulty that you're going through right now, whether it be in private practice, family life, some other aspect of your life. Embrace that difficulty that you're going through right now and realize that there's a lesson to be learned. Ask yourself, what is the lesson that I'm being taught right now? Where is the opportunity in this difficulty right now? And recognize that, unpack it, and pay attention to the details.
All right, thank you for listening to the Therapy Biz Blitz. Be sure to go by the website, startatherapypractice.com. Follow me on Instagram and the Facebook page. Both of those are Start a Therapy Practice. And until next time, my friend, Godspeed to you and your practice.